Huddle up, Wildcats. It's time for another installment of the Coach's Corner. That's right. This is where you get the opportunity to walk deep inside the locker room, right alongside the Hardee huddle, and you get to sit down and hear straight from Coach what's going on in this program. Whether it's football, whether it's swimming, whether it's basketball, or whether we're in the band room chilling with the Blue Star Brigade, this is your opportunity to hear straight from the men and women who are out there on the front lines giving our student athletes everything so they can in turn give us the enjoyment of the orange and blue experience. So buckle up, fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a great ride. So here we are for another episode of the Coach's Corner. Huddle up, everybody. Welcome back to the Coach's Corner. This is one of the installments that we do inside of the Hardee Huddle, and I have the esteemed privilege and pleasure today to be sitting at the table inside the Blue Star Brigade band room with none other than the Blue Star Brigade band director, Mr. Justin Graham. What is up, my dude?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning, buddy. There's a lot of buzz going on around town. You guys are rock stars.
Thank you.
I know that you're a humble individual. However, I want this to be a day about you guys, the band. You can bask in the ambience of your success.
I'll try my best.
So first and foremost, before we get into the fun stuff, how the heck are you, dude? You've had a whirlwind of a weekend. Are you well rested from that crazy 24-hour turn and burn to Gainesville?
Short answer, no.
No. Yeah.
I got a total of 6 hours of sleep for 2 days of 16-plus hour days with students. So
Right.
it was a long time.
I would love to see your lesson plan of surviving that trip.
Yeah, just survive.
Yeah. You just submit that to Mr. Tubbs. Like, the only goal here is to survive, buddy.
Yeah.
So let's kind of do a quick recap. I know you guys have done this before. It is the University of Florida Gator Bands, what do they call it, Band Day?
Band Day, yes, sir.
Okay. So how does that work? Do you guys have to audition for it, or how does it go?
So band days are something that's done kind of across the country.
Yeah.
Schools will bring out high schoolers so that they can experience college marching band, and hopefully recruit them to their schools, show them what it's all about. UF doesn't require anything, and they actually provide it for free to our students.
Get out of here.
So we were actually doing another one for my first couple years, and I saw UF's was free. UF's, D1 school. I'm a FSU Seminole.
Let's go.
I had to see free, and having a game day experience sold me. So I was like, let's check that out. So we checked it out. You just sign up. We were, got on the list early and often, the past 3 years, and they love having us out, and my students love going.
Well, if it's free, it's for me. That's kind of like one of my mottos. But specifically about the college game day atmosphere, the pregame, I want to give you some credibility here, and I don't like to throw sunshine up people's dresses for fun, but to give you some credibility before we continue this conversation and why it's important talking about the college level atmosphere. You yourself, this is your 5th year at the helm for the Blue Star Brigade here at Hardee Senior High School. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Your 5th year. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
That's awesome. You yourself are a graduate of Florida State University. You are indeed a Marching Chief alum. Go Noles,
sir.
baby. My dude. I've been in that stadium. I've seen the bit. It's life-changing. And more to that in a second with this group. You actually met your wife there. Is that correct?
I met my wife in high school marching band, but then I followed her to FSU. She went and got in marching chiefs a year before me, and then I joined her the next year. She did color guard. That's why she coaches our color guard team.
Let's go. Shout out, Miss Gabrielle.
And we stuck together.
How awesome and poetic and ironic that music and love are so intertwined. That's cool, man. That's super cool.
I'm one of the luckiest band directors. My guard coach is my wife, so
we
get to spend all the time together.
I'm glad you went there because this is one of those things. I think coaching in general. I think most coaches would agree with me that you have to have 100% buy-in to do anything well.
Mm-hmm.
That's anybody in life. But to be a head coach, and that's what I would kind of consider you in this position, you are the band director, the head coach, as it were, for this team. If you don't have buy-in at home, it's impossible to do this well.
Impossible. And as a band director and any head coach, you want to give 110% to your students or your athletes or, your members, and that takes sacrifice at home. Extra time in the band room, in the locker room, extra time, doing things for the kids. And unfortunately, a lot of band directors don't have their wives that work right next to them, and that can be a struggle.
And what a cool dynamic! Like, you guys have kind of been there,
Mm-hmm.
done the thing, stepped in it, smelled it. Like, hey guys, we can show you a few things and we can get you there, and then to turn around and get on a bus and take them into a stadium where you yourself have performed and you've been on that field. You know what it looks like and what it feels like. I kind of get chill bumps talking about it because I'm a musical nerd myself, and music is medicine. Mm-hmm. I've heard it said, and I'm a firm believer in that. Music is medicine. Take me down that rabbit hole for you, like your musical journey as a kid. Like, how did you get here?
Yeah, so I grew up in a family of musicians. My uncle and mom, they were in marching band playing saxophone together, so I signed up for band, wanted to play saxophone.
Kenny G, let's go.
My dad always was playing guitar. My brothers were in rock bands and played guitar, so just music was just around. And I just really became a band nerd really quick. I got in there and started doing well and really enjoyed it. My high school was a very similar demographic to Hardee, I would say, kind of rural.
Yeah.
Didn't have all the bells and whistles of some of the big schools.
Where'd you go to high school?
Clay High School.
Clay High School.
Clay High School, south of Jacksonville.
Shout out Clay High School.
So I just had this passion for trying to give music, a quality music education to students that might not experience that.
Yeah.
And when I saw that the job was open for Hardee, it's like, let's give it a shot, see what we can do, build something. And now we're here 5 years later. We own a home in Wauchula.
Let's go. We're homeowners.
And
we're
here. We're trying to do our best for these students. So.
Well, one, I personally think, from me in my house, you're doing an incredible job, bro.
Thank you.
I've heard that around town, and again, you'll learn this about me the more that we share the table together. Is I don't throw sunshine around just because it's if it's needed or warranted, you're getting it, man. And that's one thing I can say unequivocally is the positivity that comes from the crowd on Friday nights. I know I've been kind of behind the microphone on Friday nights for the last couple of years, and what I can say is I hear a lot of the crowd back and forth. I hear a lot of the old alumni, and it is beautiful to see that stretch on the field from goal line to goal line of this beautiful big Blue Star wave and that wave of sound that comes back. It's nothing short of, one, nostalgic, because growing up here, I've seen the ebb and flow, of big bands and thin bands and big bands and thin bands. But it certainly feels as though, dude, this is a legit year, and you've only got more coming from what I hear. Like Miss Bryan at the junior high level, she's doing some things to get these kids engaged and involved, and then you benefit from that program. So what's the give and take from junior high to high school, and what's that appreciation level between band directors?
Oh my gosh. I told Shayla recently I would not be here if it weren't for her.
Yeah.
The quality work that she does at that program is amazing. It's top class of the whole state, what she's doing with those kids. She has well over 100. She has 130 beginner band
Sounds right.
students
Yep,
this year.
I think I heard that. Yep.
And from what I know, I believe she has 30% of that school enrolled in her program.
Crazy, right?
We're about 12% here at the high school. I've been running a lot of numbers recently, just kind of to get my head around all of that. But you can't do what we do at Friday night football games without the patience, the tenacity it takes to sit down and teach someone how to play an instrument. And if you've never seen a beginner musician, which I know you have, it takes a lot of patience.
Sure.
Takes some earplugs for a little bit, but it takes a special person, and I try to tout her as much as I can. Anytime we can, she's incredible. These students come in ninth grade year, and they fit right in. They're ready for it. They're they're doing the thing from day one, playing the music. There's adjustment to get ready for high school, but
this is varsity, man. This is
But they're ready. Some of them fit right in or playing, with our top musicians, and it's awesome.
That's crazy.
But a little bit more about the number side of it. This year we have over 30 freshmen. I want to say about 35.
That's awesome.
And that's only gone up year to year. Last year we only graduated about 7 actual band students, not excluding guard.
Yeah.
So our numbers just skyrocketed this year. We're actually up in my school classes. I'm up to 145 students in class.
Holy cow!
From 112 last year.
Brother, you're drowning. Let's go.
Which is amazing, but it provides some issues that we have to overcome. But we are creative and we make it happen. But we got to get instruments, we got to get uniforms,
all the logistic
sides. But we'll focus on the fun sides right now. But yeah, back from my first year, we were at 75, and that's counting every single kid that I could.
Brother,
so 75, that's almost double.
So we talked about music being medicine, and your opinion. I value every head coach's opinion, and I mean this when I say this. Like, the latitude and the floor is yours in this question is, I think you resonate with me in a sense of kindred spirits where music is very healing. Like, it's almost an escape, if you will. I know my high school experience, there were moments of, very dark, very traumatic, issues or whatever, and my escape, like most, if some, was music. Yeah. I know, like, the room right next door, Mr. Radford's class, like that, between chorus and music and whatever, like, those were escape areas for me to come find myself. Have you seen that in your classroom?
1,000%. Band is special. We were talking about this before we were rolling. Like, band is such a special family. There's easily every morning by 8 o'clock, there's 30 kids in here hanging out. And if I'm not here, they're banging on the door. Where are
Lined
you?
Lined up on the sidewalk.
They're ready to be here. They feel seen. They feel safe. They feel like they belong. And that's what's so special about it to me. We're providing for 150 kids a place, where they want to be every day and where they want to be a lot of their extra free time too. Yeah. And often they'll complain about practice. Oh, we got practice. And then when we cancel a practice or we don't have practice on this day, sorry guys, they get mad at us. They want to be here.
Dang it.
And it's that's what's rewarding about the job, especially here. The students in this community are very special, and they deserve that, and it fulfills me. That's the goal, is fulfillment.
Well, I've said it before. It's in some of the sports that I cover, it's bigger than ball. Whether it's football, baseball, soccer, it's bigger than ball. Well, this even goes further than the music sheet. Like, I understand. It's math and it's numbers and it's healing, but it goes even further than that. I will say I think that's the mark of excellence. Every coach strives for is they want their program to be a place where their kids want to be.
Right.
And I've heard even Mr. Tubbs here, the high school principal, talk about, we just want kids to be here. Like, whenever you get across the table, like when you get around that board of educators, when they start talking about, metrics and logistics and numbers and we got to do this and that, and we just want our kids to be here. We want them to want to be here. Yeah. And then if you can get over that hurdle, everything else comes with it. And I think you're a living testament to that with your program. Is you've got a room full of kids that just, one, they love to be here, but they also love and care for each other.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
That's so true. My philosophy from day one has been, inclusivity, wanting them to be here.
Yeah.
And, wanting them to enjoy what we do. Now, it's a hard battle between that and pushing them to the next level.
Sure.
Always chasing, the next thing. But sometimes we take a step back as staff and we're like, you know what? Like, we are where we are. We got everything showing that we're doing the right thing. Everything's going the right direction.
Right.
If this week wasn't as progressive as we wanted to be in our show for competitions, oh well, the kids are here, they're having fun.
Yeah.
And they're having a quality musical experience that, as you said, is healing. In some way, they're channeling something through what they're doing, and they're enjoying it.
What are some of the highlights you've seen in your 5 years in terms of the high school experience for these kids? And like you said too, like music is all about mastery. You know, we as musicians ourselves, we're constantly striving for perfection, and it gets frustrating if we don't hit that mark. You know, because let's be honest, you don't have to be a musician to understand when something sounds good, right?
Right,
Like
right.
bless those jazz notes, right?
Right.
So the point is like, what is the marks that you've hit along the way where you're like, yeah, we're doing okay, we're doing right.
Well, we're talking about marching band right now, but I'll talk about concert band just for a second.
Yeah.
For me, we've done well since the first year, marching band wise,
Yeah,
really.
I'd say so.
Concert band, which not as many people get to see, has been a struggle for my first few years, just trying to figure things out. We get graded at the district level and state level by the Florida Band Masters Association. So we go and we play assessments. So we play music for a panel of judges, and that's basically our school grade or our standardized testing for band. And first couple years we were doing okay. Then the next year we got a few C's on our report card, if you will.
Sure.
We ended up with a low B, but never fully a C. But we had some C's on there, and I was down. I was bummed. And then this past year it was my first wave of seniors that started as freshmen.
Gotcha.
And they were seniors, and we're like, guys, we have to do this for these seniors. Like, they deserve it. They've gotten superiors, which is an A rating for marching band past couple of years, which is awesome.
Yeah, dude.
But they have never seen a superior concert band. And last year we got our first superior rating for concert band. And
Let's go, bro.
I scoured the internet. The records are online, and I talked with Shayla a little bit. I don't think this has ever been done.
Let's go
At Hardee
dude.
Senior High School. And that's even back in the Shaman era. And it's just, concert band's a different beast. It's a whole nother thing. And it can be challenging to get the students engaged in that because they love the hype and, just the grandeur of marching band.
Sure.
Concert band's a whole nother beast. We can talk about that later or another time. But for us to achieve that with the students we have and the community we're in is really astonishing.
Yeah.
I received, words from band directors across the state like, all right, good job.
Yeah, this is legit,
that's
dude.
legit.
Yeah.
That was the first time I'm like, okay, I really feel like I'm doing the right thing now.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
That felt really good last year. And then, along the way, the awards and stuff from marching band have been, amazing too. But
yeah. Well, I've seen you guys, the concert band. You've done some Christmas specials and things, and you've got a groovy bunch, man.
Yeah.
Like that whole swing ragtime thing, and then you go into full blown jazz, and it is really a treat to kind of watch it. For those of you listening, if you haven't been either to the high school auditorium or even downtown to some of the events where you guys get to go see, it's really kind of cool to sit back and get that, that feeling and that vibe. It's almost like a time capsule or a time machine. Long gone are the days where people used to gather around and go to live theater, or go to live symphony orchestras. Everybody's stuck in their phones, so it's kind of like a tip of the cap and an homage to history, if you will.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are keeping something alive that is necessary, in my opinion. Back to marching band. You guys did something this year that I told you. I don't know if I'm going to get credit for this or not, because I think it was just a private conversation between you and I. Last year, I brought up the whole marching in thing. I remember seeing it as a kid, and everybody lost their mind. And then whenever you guys did it that first time, people were in the stadium for pregame, and they heard you guys marching by the water tower coming around, and they're like, is that Blue Star marching? And I was like, yeah, bro, check it out. And so everybody starts walking up, going to the chain link at the top, and everybody's filming with
Getting
their cameras.
phones out.
And you hear it. They're all like, they brought it back. They're doing it again. So what's that conversation like, telling the kids how to do this?
So they were skeptical at first. And yes, we had conversations. And then the latest conversation I had with Mr. Tubbs before the year started was like, it would be really cool if we brought that back. Now, let me walk us through this a little bit, because my first year we did do it.
Okay.
We did do it, but I guess at that time things were still building with the band,
Sure.
and it was still kind of the old school era of band.
Right.
And we did do it, and it started to get difficult as we were growing
Sure.
because we have so much logistics. I'll tell you, if the community didn't have that outpour of support,
we ain't doing
it. But no, so where this conversation started was the new indoor football facility.
Yeah.
So I spoke with Mr. Tubbs. I'm like, hey, on Friday nights, could we get in there? And he's like, yeah, football team's not in there. You guys get in there. So we go in there and we actually do our staging. So we prepare over there. Which I'll walk us through this whole process because it's a lot of work. So if you guys in the community love it, please keep showing us that support.
Between feeding and supporting and dressing all these kids.
So I get there on a home football game. I got there at 5:30.
Yeah.
We get leadership there to unload the trailer.
Okay.
Then the students all dress, get ready in the stadium or in the indoor facility, and we run through what we need to do. We'll do the anthem, we'll do our warm-ups, et cetera, and then we have to load the trailer back, and then everybody lines up and we do our march in. Then we have to unload the trailer again so we can have our equipment that we need at the stadium. Then we have to get our equipment off for the halftime performance, and then because of space and logistics, we have to kind of do that in reverse order and all this stuff. So thankful that we have a leadership team that can do that. That's a whole nother side of this coin that we could talk about. The opportunities that band gives these students in terms of leadership, life skills, just learning how to be a productive person.
Yeah.
Beyond the music, beyond the marching, there's so many opportunities. We have a leadership team of like 25 students.
Holy cow.
That's from our 3 drum majors all the way down to our, we have like 4 quartermasters, which are the ones that do all of that logistics we were just talking about. But I go inside, I got my drum majors, we're in ARCs doing music, and I know that I have 4 students outside putting cases back on the trailer. I walk away, drum majors keep going. I make sure, put this fire out, put that fire out. I have 25 mini-me's in training.
This is a full-blown military operation.
And that's where marching band comes from. It breaks down straight from military. That's how it works. But we have our drum majors that are essentially teachers. I use them every day in class. As I'm taking attendance, they start warm-ups. As I'm doing this or that, they're, making sure students are engaged 100% of the time. And that's something just so special about band music, band class in general. We work in ensembles, and no other class functions that way. We have 50 kids in a class at a time, but every single one of them is engaged. Every single one of them is doing the same goal at the same time because that's just how band works. You have your one conductor that's leading everybody doing the same thing, and that's just something super special, in my opinion, compared to anything else. I mean, maybe football, right? You have a team of 11 guys on the field.
You may have a position captain or this, that, but I agree with you in a sense that you have a core of many U's, as you say, like they've been granted this level of expectation or authority, like, hey, and I know poor little Elena Wyckoff, she ain't that big, but she demands
She can be loud.
authority, brother.
Yeah.
Like when she walks in, like everybody's like, oh yeah, listen to her. So like command presence, you talked about the life skills, like you're giving these kids an opportunity to experience and sharpen, from time management to learning the nuances of maturity, communication. In a day and age where we live in our phone, there comes a time where you have to have a face-to-face conversation, and I will say that this group, they get a rap for being shy, but ain't none of these kids shy. Not a single one of them. Like when you really get to talking with them, you're like, oh, I got you.
Yeah,
I got you.
And you mentioned the time management. And I'm going to lead this back into the college game day stuff. A lot of what we do. Sorry, what was I saying?
Time specific, like everything you do is so regimented, right? Like you have to be so precise with your timing.
And band takes a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
We do two rehearsals a week, then every Friday, almost every Saturday once we get into competition season. And a lot of people might see that and like, how do you do that with AP classes or dual enrollment, or if you're active in church or active in ROTC, active in any other activity,
a club here at the school?
What I find is that the structure of being busy helps students.
Yeah.
Helps students 1,000%. And this happens, and we're starting talks with this. A lot more of our students are wanting to do band at the secondary college level, and they're talking to us. Elena Wyckoff is one. She wants to go on do nursing and all this. And she's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do band. It's I'm going to be doing nursing. It's busy.
Yeah.
Well, we find back at the Marching Chiefs, 75% of those kids are not music majors.
Really?
Only a handful, of them are music majors, and they often end up being the section captains and stuff.
Sure.
But a majority of those students are engineer majors, nursing majors,
finance and law. Yeah.
And every single one of them agrees, like, it's a lot of time. Marching Chiefs is 4 to 6 every day.
Brother.
Every day after class. But that structure that it gives you, that extra thing that you have to do keeps you in track, keeps you in line. And if you don't have anything going on in your life, it's really hard to stay motivated in class. And
Oh, that's so good. Oh, I could preach for an hour on that. Let's go down that rabbit hole just for a second.
Sure.
This is my hometown. Being from a small town, I love it here. This is home, always will be home. I'm raising my family here. Mm-hmm. So I want to make that disclaimer. However, the caveat, there's not a lot here. Mm-hmm. To truly give kids an outlet, a positive outlet.
Right.
Which is why I think when people ask me about this Hardee Huddle thing, what the heck is it? 3 years ago when we started this thing up, they're like, what the heck is it? And then where's it going? What are you doing? Whatever. There is so much negativity in the world, and there is so many negative outlets for kids to get into. If we don't champion and highlight these platforms, like our sporting programs, our musical programs, our agricultural programs that these kids get to do outside of the classroom, that ultimately funnel them back into that straight and narrow of future success, then we're doing everyone a disservice. So I find that elements like what you just talked about, being busy, there's an unhealthy level now.
Of course.
Let's be honest here, okay? There's an unhealthy level of being consistently busy. But when you have students in your case that are in your DE and AP programs, I would probably say, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that your class GPA ranks up there with your tennis and swim teams, where these kids are so academically driven because they're so focused on either perfection or excellence all the time. Is that a fair assessment?
I would say so.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that when we were talking about doing this podcast, and I mean that in the best way, that there's not a lot to do here, and having a quality program such as ours.
Yeah.
Shoot my own horn a little.
Do it, brother. Toot away.
We're servicing 150 students in this county.
Yeah.
And that fulfills me in a special way, because realistically, I could go teach anywhere. I'm not from Hardee County.
Yeah.
It was, it's just a stroke of luck that I showed up here, honestly.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that in that way.
I know your heart.
you know what I mean? Like,
I know your heart.
It was just complete chance that a boy from Jacksonville ends up in Hardee County. I don't know anybody from here.
Sure.
But I've grown to love it so much, and I know everyone that's from here understands that. And I talked a lot with Mr. Shaman when he hired me, and there's just something special in Hardee County. It's slower pace. There's not as much hustle and bustle, and I love that. I've been able to do what I personally want, what I think is important with the band program. I've been able to do that and create what I wanted, and it's starting to really blossom into something really special. I talked with John Ekman from Bartow High School. He's the band director there.
Okay.
And in Bartow, they call him the mayor of Bartow.
The mayor of Bartow.
The band director. It's
so
a
great.
joke up there. But he's like, man, you gotta just get in the community and support the community as much as you can, because in these smaller communities, Bartow's bigger than us, but it just provides so much positivity and a place for all these students and giving a quality education. And something I wanted to mention too is that we're comprehensive. You're talking about we have jazz, we have concert. We try to give these students every opportunity they can. That's another thing. When me and Miss Graham were growing up, our band never had a jazz band. Our band never had Winter Guard. Our band kind of was stuck in the past in some ways. Yeah. So I try to be as forward thinking as possible, keeping the kids engaged, giving them the opportunities that they want. Winter Guard was the first thing that showed us success. I started that year one. Miss Graham never had done Winter Guard. I'd never done Winter Guard, but I knew it was important.
Let's write the book,
Let's just do it. And Hardee actually had a very successful Winter Guard program back in the day, just as it did band program. And it's just, that's all part of a successful band program. And took us 2 years, and we won a state championship.
Let's go.
I mean, like, the students here are so capable, and that's what I tell them every day. I feel like students here, and this is just kind of my
outside looking in.
My thinking. Yeah. A lot of students here feel like they can't achieve something beyond here
because we're from Wauchula.
Because it's a small school. Yeah. It's a small community. Like, you know, I'm just going to do what my parents do. I'm just going to do this or that. But all kids are capable.
Yep.
And especially here, they're hard workers. They, you know, they put in the work. And I try to show that to them in everything they do. You know, like they can achieve anything. And that's what we're trying to do this year. This year is our first year we're doing a full competitive circuit. What that means is we compete in the FFCC, which is a state-sanctioned like organization, kind of like FHSAA, you could say. And we're going to be doing 4 competitions that leads to state championships. Now, state championships isn't like we won everything and, you know, we got invited like a football state championship would be. But we go up against schools like Oviedo High School and Orlando. These are
massive
like national known programs. Tarpon Springs from Tampa. Just these huge programs that the kids get to see and be like, oh, there's more out there in the world than what we've seen around here. And we inspire them to be that. They can be that. We could be that. And, you know, that's our philosophy. That's what we're trying to do here.
well, let's keep going there because you just took a whole bunch of kids to Gainesville to inspire.
Right.
And to give that glimpse into what's next or what could be. So,
right. And you said something about like the college game day.
Yeah.
What did you say? You said something about.
So like in terms of the college game day experience of going back to time management, of realizing like what your schedule looks like, but now we have to we master the music, we master the choreography. Now we get a chance to put it all together, and you're out on that field with. I think I read a number, it was like 1,200 band members from various high schools combined with the UF Gator Band. You've been a part of that college game day experience where the emotions are high and the adrenaline's running and like kind of like if you can encapsulate all that into one little pill.
Well, so I jokingly, but I was 100% serious too. That's how the kids take it.
Yeah.
I told them all, I'm like, your lives are about to be changed.
Yes.
If you've never been to a D1, game day, that's life-changing. Yeah. Seeing 70, 80,000 people, all cheering, and then when you get on the field and you're looking up at 70, 80,000 people.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Like some of our students have never seen that many people in their life. And to be able to perform in front of them, some of them probably were in shock, just in shell shock, standing there like, what's going on? But I mean, I remember my first time going down, and it's so energizing. It's insane. You go down, and there's 80,000 people cheering, and you're down playing your instrument, just like on a Friday night back at Hardee. It's insane. And that was on national TV. I mean, obviously they don't air the halftime shows, but like the aura of all of that going on, primetime game, 7 o'clock kickoff, there's fireworks, there's lights are going out. These students have probably never experienced anything like that unless they've been to a game. And it's life-changing. It really is.
Yeah. Did you, I know we talked about you kind of being like the dad of this giant family. So, like, is there a proud dad moment? Did you see some kids kind of rise to the occasion, or kind of step into that next season of yeah, you can do this? Did you see any of that?
I mean, I've seen so many of them after that want to do college band, and that's super special to me because that means they love it so much that they want to continue once they leave us. And a lot of those students, that was a long day, very long day. We already went there and discussed that. 3 a.m. report time, and everyone was dead tired. But when
after playing Friday night,
after
and then
playing
your wheels
Friday
up
night,
Saturday morning 4 a.m.
So they came off that field and were like electric. None of them were tired at that point.
Oh, second wave, buddy. Let's go.
It was great. It was really cool. And then the whole time they're actually sitting right with the Gator Band during the game. So any first down the Gator Band plays, they're able to play with them. They're right there. It was really cool.
And going beyond the actual physical playing of the instrument, being on the field, how incredible is it to be in the space? I mean, you're a former marching chief. You've had those conversations where kids walk up to you and they want to talk or whatever. Like, now you're on this side of it where you're seeing your students interact with college musicians, and you're kind of getting that glimpse into this is how you get there. This is the encouragement. This is the motivation. This is all of the stuff, the positivity that pours through music, the healing, as we say. Kind of give me a glimpse into that. Like, did you see our kids really come alive in that?
Oh, yeah. And one of my favorite parts of that event is that 8 a.m. rehearsal. So we get there, and if you've never been on UF campus, they have actually a beautiful marching band facility. It's a full field, turf field with towers and with shade and everything. The students get to interact with the students after that, with the college students. So in college band, there's so many traditions and little oddities, and you could have a whole podcast on that. But every section has their own little quirks and weird little things that they do. So the clarinets went off, and they were all nice and calm, and they took a nice little picture. The tubas go off and are rowdy, playing music, playing their little songs that they always love. The drum line circled up, and they let all of the high schoolers come up and play a cadence. And they're all just jamming with the high schoolers, kind of inspiring them. It's super positive. It was amazing. And then you have every section just has these little culture things, and the kids see that and they're like, "Oh, that's cool," and it fits the themes of what they probably see around our band room too. Tubas being weird in the back, and
I saw a post recently, your tuba guys, and they are so cool. If you're a dad in the room, so I'm not gonna have a gotcha question where you have to pick your favorite, but I've heard it called the Tuba Tribe. They're like their own little tribe of misfits over there.
It's taken us 5 years to figure out how to treat them or how to get them to respond. Miss Graham and I have fought with them, and it's better not to fight. It's just to accept them and
let them be the creature they are.
Yes, they're awesome though.
So I know there's a lot of people that might be listening to this, and they might have seen this movie. You might have seen this movie, but Drumline the movie. There's a quote in that. I love that movie. It's so nostalgic. But there's a quote in that movie that says, "Halftime is game time." And that just kind of gets me pumped up talking about, like the marching band season that we're in right now, and seeing your show. Last year was Breakout, crazy cool, lots of visual stuff, and now this year you're doing Castaway, a lot of those neat little niche elements. Talk about the difficulty of going through band camp, getting these kids ready in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. I mean, rapid fire.
Yeah, I'm super glad you used that quote, because 90% of what we do is not for Friday night in the stands. 90% of what we're doing is for that 10 minutes at halftime, and for our assessments and our competitions that are coming up. That's where a bulk of our time is. These students learn the stand tunes that everyone loves, in a day. But then why are we out there practicing hours and hours and hours? There's other stuff going on. There's a whole world to this that many people don't get to experience or see, which you did. You coming to take pictures one day.
It's fantastic.
It's very much a grind to get what we need done. When you have 120 people on a field, I have it right here. You've probably never seen something like this. This is a drill sheet.
Oh, my goodness.
So it has a tick system across a whole football field, and it shows a dot with a label for every student. So we have 120 kids there, and there's all kinds of instructions. We have the count structure, the set number, and every single one of these, the students have to learn and memorize, and then execute that on top of playing an instrument, on top of choreography and visuals, and it takes a lot of time. And this is the best part. This is what the kids love.
So for those of you that are listening, I know I'm not a cool guy with video. I'll try to explain this to you. This is the playbook, if you will. If you're in a football program or maybe a breakdown, if you're in the baseball world, there's several sheets here, and I'm looking at essentially a football field graph, and there's little bitty dots everywhere, and it represents a musician on the field or a color guard member, and it's all the different movements and all the different time signatures of where you have to be, when you have to be, and you're even putting in here, turn towards here, move here, count signatures. This is part of the conversation you and I talked about before we hit record that I am so excited about. I really am. I'm probably going to get a little hate mail, but I'm ready for it because I had a fantastic conversation with Mr. Chet Huddleston about the band, the student musicians. Let's call it what it is. Student musician versus student athlete. Okay, and I understand there's not a true line in the sand differentiation between what FHSAA or even Hardee County School Board recognizes as, are you an athlete or are you a student musician? And I'm going to go out on a limb. I'll be the sacrificial lamb here, and I don't mind because I'm here for the fight. I'm going to be one of the first ones to say it out loud, boys and girls. Student musicians are student athletes for more than one reason. And looking at this, what do you call this? A marching chart? What is this?
Drill sheet.
A drill sheet. Looking at this drill sheet, let's talk physicality first. If you put soccer, football, swimming, oh God, I know swimming. I know on a personal level, I know how excruciatingly difficult it can be physically and mentally. Looking at this, we're not even talking about music yet. You're talking about moving with your instrument in step, in cadence, moving with precision, carrying a piece of equipment. Now, you might be one of the lucky ones, like with a flute or clarinet, or you could be part of the tuba tribe. And you're how heavy does that tuba weigh?
40 pounds or so. Okay. I mean, and then percussion's even more. I mean, you got those big tenor drums and bass drums.
So now you're talking 50, 60 pounds easy. Sometimes, so move with quickness, with precision, with intentionality, carrying all of that to a specified place to give visual excellence along with audible excellence. So now let's talk about the musicianship side of things. These kids have been practicing for years on their own at home. I have a musician in my house. We suffer, along with the process. But now you put them in a classroom setting where you're memorizing sheet music, because I don't see any of them marching with music. Now, I know you have apparatuses where you have those little miniature things from time to time, but they're memorizing their music, they're memorizing the choreography, they're carrying all of this equipment while wearing some sort of costume-esque attachment or accoutrement. You have the color guard members who are throwing flags with precision again. And now on top of that, you have to execute an additional piece of physicality, that being breathing. The management of intake and exhale, along with you being a musician yourself, knowing full well from either saxophone or trumpet, God forbid bass, you got to put a lot of air in that machine.
Oh, yeah.
So to take in air, give out air, move, be on time, along with keeping an eye open for the director for movement and for calls, I dare anybody to not call you an athlete.
Yeah, when you put everything together, the playing, the moving, the choreography, it is an athletic activity.
Yes, 100%.
Often we're doing piece by piece, and that's how we get around some of the requirements, I would say, of the FHSAA.
Yes.
Because they're so strict, because you're in football pads, you're in this and that, and the heat. We do follow the wet glow bulb signature.
Yeah. I was going to ask you about that.
We do follow that, and most of the time we're in that level, like the red level, which is you get 2 hours with breaks every 15 minutes. All this.
We're in Florida, bro. Everybody lives in red.
So we're always in the red category, which is how we always pretty much operate, anyways.
Yeah.
We're giving breaks as frequently as we can with water, and the big thing for me is when we're out there doing drill, that's not too bad. If they're not playing, it is, as you said, you're moving around, you're doing choreography, but you can breathe normally.
Sure.
Once you add the instrument, though,
yeah.
If it's in that red category, I really get scared. And I really got scared this summer for band camp because the heat has just been so brutal recently.
It's horrible.
And if you can imagine in the heat of the day, moving around, for one, stinks.
Yeah.
Moving around while blowing air into an instrument, many people would probably pass out if they weren't trained.
Some would call it chaotic. Yes.
Now, we do our best, obviously, to not be in the heat of the day, where our practices are 4 to 6, which is not too far off from the heat of the day.
Right.
But it is what it is. But we haven't had any heat-related issues.
Praise Jesus. Thank you for that.
We've been doing the best we can, keeping water, keeping cool towels, and just having everybody, if they need to sit out, they sit out, and just, being mindful of all of that.
One of the cool things about your program, though, is you have so many kids, so it can be kind of daunting. But you talked about the leadership earlier as well. So you have eyes everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of this, not only are you talking about time signatures and counting, and because I heard that was something I want to talk about too. When we came to practice, you have 100 and some odd kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and it's like they're all counting while doing. It's insane the multitasking effort. It's so impressive.
It really is. It's amazing. It's an amazing activity, and it takes so much coordination and so much effort and work to do it well.
Yeah. That part to do it, not
well.
only to do it, but to do it well.
We it'll take us the whole season to really get it where we want it. So by those late October games, that's when halftime should be really good.
Yeah.
I hope. That's the goal. And we haven't even talked about the showmanship of it. We are going to have a prop soon.
Oh, Lord. Here we go. Let's go.
Nobody knows about this yet, really. It's actually right over there on the ground. It's a vinyl. It's going to be a 40-foot ship.
No way.
Our show designer gets creative every year. But we have these prop frames that a guy in the community made for us that are steel frames, and they're going to hoist up basically a triangle. It's going to be like a shipwreck.
Beautiful.
So it's the SS Blue Star Brigade.
Yeah.
And it's 13 foot tall by 40 feet long triangle, and it's going to look like a sunken ship. And we're trying our best to do costumes and stuff, but just financially it hasn't been able to work out. But our color guard does have costumes and the flags and all of that. So we're going to be, hopefully by a couple more weeks, we're going to be really telling a theatrical production, essentially. So, I mean, on the basic level of just playing music and stuff, yes, that's cool. And then all the marching is awesome and it's hard. But then we're trying our best to take it to the next level and make it a production.
Yeah.
And that's where the state of marching band's at, and that's where, that's kind of where everybody's going. There's kind of two schools of thought in marching band, and I'll explain them really quick. There's the show band, which if you go to any college game day, that's essentially what you're getting, right? They have variety shows, popular music, things that are currently popular or an homage to something else, and they have a new show every week. That's another fun thing that I get to tell the kids, that we did a show every week, not over four months, but over a week. And then you have what people call competitive or a core style band, which is trying to tell more of a theatrical story. That's why the past couple years you probably haven't recognized what music we're playing. We're not playing pop tunes,
right?
And that's for a few reasons. That style of music is much more musical, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
There's much more to teach in that than just playing pop songs. There's nothing wrong with pop songs. We try to do those in the stands for fun. But our goal is to create better musicians, not necessarily, and I hate to say this, entertain the crowd.
Let's go.
And our goal is to modernize the program in a way that we can eventually, I don't think maybe this year, eventually be competitive.
Yeah.
And I know these students can do it. It takes a lot of effort and unfortunately a lot of money to compete with the other schools. That's just the nature of everything. I mean, it's the same thing to an extent in sports, and just more money usually means better.
The two things that not every program has is money and manpower. Like you have people wearing multiple hats, and we don't have enough money to get it done. And that's where we have so many faithful people that come into these programs and just give of their time. Mm-hmm. You know, if you can't give the dollar, give your time.
Right. And so I mentioned this earlier. This is our first year we're trying to fully do a competitive season. Every other year we've kind of done competitions more to show the students what's out there and to lead to our district assessment, just so we get education on how to be better for that. Sure. This year we are going to championships. FFCC championships is going to be hosted up at the Villages.
Okay.
That's on November. I don't want to be wrong. It's second week of November. And all of our scoring and our judging is hopefully going to guide us to being successful there. This is our first time ever. And like I said, that we're going to be up against some serious firepower of big Tampa and Orlando schools. And it's based off of size of program. So I think that's similar to sports as well. It's the size of school.
Well, let me ask you that. So a lot of the programs that we have here on the playing field of sports side of the conversation, we have, like say swimming, we have like the Heartland Invitational, we have the Blackman Relays, we have districts. So there's like check marks throughout the season, for competitions that have a prize at the end, if you will, like some sort of trophy or whatever. And in terms of like your marching band season, you talked about FCCs and you talked about the different competitions you guys are going to. What are some boxes that are like the white whales that are out there that you really want to kind of go get?
Placing at any of these competitions for us at this point is amazing because we're in what's called 4A, which is based on the size, and that cutoff's right around 120, 120 students. If you're over that, you're in 4A. Last year we were 3A, and that just puts you in a group with size. And unfortunately, at that 4A size is where you're getting really big, good programs. And I mean, that's not to say that there's not really good programs at all sizes. Sure. And size doesn't necessarily mean quality, but that's where it puts us, Most programs that have over 120 students are your Tampa schools, your Orlando schools, your higher socioeconomic
areas.
Yes, areas, and it makes it challenging. Also, most of those programs have been established for a while. This is, I would say only 2 years have we been at a place where I would even take us to an actual competitive show to be competitive, because 3 years ago we didn't. We did only assessments. Okay. So there's a kind of a difference in that between an assessment and a competition. Obviously,
thank you for that. Yeah.
An assessment is just comparing you to a set of standards. So that's just an agreed upon standardized set of, music needs to be like this, marching needs to be like this, et cetera, et cetera.
It's like a test.
I mean, it is
like a benchmark, if you will.
And we do that every year. We have our music performance assessment, and we do that for marching and for concert. And there's a whole, I don't have it on the wall anymore right now, but there's check boxes: how to get an A, how to get a B, how to get a C, and it breaks down everything. And like, are musicians in tune? Are musicians in tune sometimes? Are they in tune? Not all the time. These are the things that the judges are looking for. And so that's assessment. Competition is when those are the criteria, but you're actually comparing student to student, which in music is a little weird, because it's not a sport in the sense that we're fighting in a game for victory, right?
Like you need a first down, or it's subjective.
It's subjective.
Thank you.
And that could be difficult to explain to the students sometimes, because it is subjective and it's highly dependent on lots of other factors. Unfortunately, lots of other factors. So we go into it competing against other people, but our philosophy is we're competing against ourselves. And the FFCC is an amazing organization. We could talk a lot about them, but they're the ones that do Winter Guard, and they've started doing outdoor competitions for marching band. And what they do really well is they show from show to show a number. Like you get your total number. So if you start the season at a 60, and that next week you get a 65, and then the next week you get a 70, and then you go to championships and you get last place, but you get an 80, and that's your season high, that's showing the students progress and showing them that they are being noticed as getting better without even it mattering that if you're winning or not, because
I love that breakdown.
It's so hard to win.
Yeah.
It's so hard to win.
I love that breakdown. It's so similar to swim to me, where you can come in 5th place, but as long as your time was faster than you swam last week, that's a PR for you, dude.
Right. Nobody can fault you for that.
No.
You're doing better than you did last time, and that's all anyone
That's so good, dude.
should ask for. And that's our philosophy. Some of our students get upset, oh, we got 3rd place. But
how'd you score?
Yeah, like, have we gotten better?
Yeah.
Have we achieved what we've asked you to achieve? Are we getting better every time? That's all we really, really want.
I think you kind of answered it without me even having to ask it, but I know we're getting close to the wire for we both have other things to do today, but the culture in this program, it feels like the conversation, I mean, the air in the room even, I mean, it feels as though, correct me if I'm wrong, but kids are finally in that place where we're achieving excellence. We're shooting for excellence, not perfection, because we understand how difficult that truly is. But are we better today?
Yeah.
Are we better today?
And that's been our goal from day one, is to shift the culture to the kids wanting to be here and wanting to do good.
Yeah.
And I would say confidently, we're finally tipped the iceberg.
Yeah.
A majority of the students are here to work hard, to want to be here and do better.
Yeah.
For a little while there, it was pulling teeth, getting the kids to show up and just trying to gain that trust and show them that vision of where we want to go. It can be difficult at times, but things like the UF Band Day, showing them, going to competitions, is showing them that other kids out there are putting in that effort and doing it, and this is the rewards they're getting. And there's limitless rewards in band. I was actually talking with Mr. Scott, one of our bus drivers, on the UF Day, and he's from Michigan, and he's driven for his whole career, charter buses and stuff, and he was telling me all these trips that he took bands on to Nashville and to Chicago, to New York, Louisiana, New Orleans, all this stuff, and he's like, all the best trips have been with band. Forget football and athletics, and all the best trips I've driven have been for band. I'm like, we know how to do it.
We know it. We know how to
we
party,
know how to do
bro.
it.
We bring the party with us.
Yeah.
That is so good, dude. Well, speaking of party and the culture and atmosphere, if there is a student listening to this, or a family member that's kind of on the fence, or maybe they have a student in their home, they don't really know where they fit in, or I don't really know what to try, or whatever, what are some words of encouragement that you could give in terms of being the band director, but also being a former band kid? Kind of help me out. What would you say to that kid?
Well, first off, I think every kid needs to do something. And if you don't know what it is, then try music. That 6th grade, 7th grade year, I know Miss Bryan will let you in.
Sure.
She'll let you have a shot at it.
Happily.
Maybe even 8th grade. If you still, if you decide right now and you're in 8th grade and you want to do it. Heck, I have kids in high school that don't know anything. I have one student in our front ensemble right now. She didn't play in middle school. She showed up to our commitment night, said, hey, I want to do something, and I'm committed to do it. I'm like, okay, here's what you're going to do. Now she plays in our front ensemble, and she's doing amazing.
Dope, bro.
Like, she literally did nothing last year musically and is now
front
performing,
ensemble,
doing well. And those are the little things that are just amazing. But back to what we were saying. You got to do something. Try music. Give it a shot. You have to understand that anything in life takes time to develop and get into. And if you give up right away, and it's hard for kids these days with instant gratification and TikTok and short form content, getting everything now. Music is the complete opposite of that. And it's infinitely rewarding, but it takes infinite time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like you can work on it forever, and there's so much out there that you can achieve with that. I was on a full ride scholarship for music.
Awesome.
I was being paid to go to school actually for the time that I put
cool.
into my instrument. So you can achieve these things through whatever you want to do. And if music resonates with you and all the things you see that we get to do, resonates with you and you think that's cool. I've been around the world with music. I went to France with the Marching Chiefs.
So cool.
I've been all over the US with different bands and with the Marching Chiefs. We went to Texas and, Atlanta, all over. And that's all because of music, all because I joined in 7th grade. And, just put my nose to the grindstone and kept working and doing better. And
music
now
will
we're
take
here.
you.
It can take you anywhere.
It can take you anywhere. That's so cool, man. Well, before we get out of here, man, is there anything else you kind of want to say? Any shout-outs or anything like that? I know your crew is preparing for a hefty marching season. We've got some travel games to go to, but we also have some big games coming up at the end of October. I know we've got homecoming. We also have DeSoto at home this year.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of opportunities for everybody to come hang out. Would you even encourage people to come sit down on the south end of the field and kind of sit close to the band and rock out a little bit and kind of get some of that vibe and some of that energy?
That'd be awesome. We have a lot coming up. If you want to follow us on social medias, we have very active band parents and students that run our social medias, keeping everybody updated. But I encourage everybody to try out a competition in their life. It's something special. It's so different. And you mentioned the drumline quote earlier that halftime is game time.
Yeah, buddy.
As much as we love going and supporting the Wildcats on Friday nights, that's our extracurricular.
Yeah,
our curricular is in the classroom making music and doing the competitions.
Good word.
In our assessments. Our marching, that halftime is our whole point of being an organization. And that gets lost sometimes, I think, because we have so much that we're doing behind the scenes that's not for football.
Yeah.
And so follow us social medias, come to a competition, come to a concert. Concert's a whole nother ball game. We've talked about that earlier. Mm-hmm. But it's the kids do so well in that realm as well. Mm-hmm. The jazz music, everybody loves that. Mm-hmm. It's very fun. And then we do all your holiday favorites.
I was going to say, Christmas is going to be right around the corner,
Christmas is great. We are going to have a concert in November.
Yeah,
we're actually we're working with Culinary, crossing my fingers, hopefully do like a Thanksgiving kind of meal.
Nice.
That people can participate in for that concert. Then we have our winter concert. Then we will have our MPA season, which is where concert MPA happens. And then we end with two of my favorite concerts, our Mosaic concert.
Yep.
Excuse me. Where we do a variety show. We bring back the marching band. We bring back student-run songs, essentially. They put together little songs and play them.
Oh, cool.
Pop music, and it's really fun. And then our spring concert to end the year, which is always just the hardest, most flashy music that we can get our hands on and the kids want to play. It's a lot of fun. But another awesome. Shout out, I already said this, for Miss Bryan, what she does at the junior high. Nothing would happen on Friday nights if it wasn't for her. So I want everyone to know that and appreciate that.
And how hard at that age level.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, she's a saint. She's a saint. But you guys, too. I mean, you've got the high school group, and I know these kids. So bless your heart.
They're not much better.
Well, dude, I want to say first and foremost, thank you for carving out time to do this. But to also thank you to everybody that's a part of our community that loves on our kids so well, that champions Wildcat excellence, whether it's academic or athletic, and music. Mm-hmm. Giving our kids positivity in a day and age that is so needed. So I just want to say thank you, dude. You're doing a phenomenal work here, and I look forward to many more years of championing this incredible program and giving these kids just the love that they not only need, but the love they deserve.
Mm-hmm. I want to thank you for this organization. I think it's so positive for the community and everything you're doing. Even Friday night, shouting out Frostproof, that was just I was like, yes, that felt so good. Thank you.
Yeah.
And just everything that you're doing, bringing the positivity.
Yeah, man.
Highlighting everything that's good going on, which is amazing.
Well, there's enough negative in the world, and I think people like us. I mean, you're bringing music, you're bringing something that is healing to the world, and this is my way of playing my instrument. You know.
Yeah.
So I think all of us are doing our part, and for those of you out there listening, whatever your part is, keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Do your part. You know, play your role, play your instrument, play your position, whatever it is you're doing. Just keep being positive light in the world for our kids, for the next generation, to take it wherever we can.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'll leave it. But, dude, I love you guys. Good luck with marching season and also in preparation for MPA. And we'll see you guys around.
We'll see you.
We'll see you guys. Later, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.